All right, welcome back, YouTube. Today we got the 2012 Isuzu NPR HD. Let me get you a box so you can maybe see a part number. We got knox sensor 1, NOx sensor 1. Here's what she looked like, a glorified O2 sensor with its own computer. Fancy. All right, anyway, that piece right there, actually, and this is knox sensor 1, there's 2 of them. This wire simply just pops out of there, and I use a 12 millimeter. I'm gonna pull these 2 bolts. Let me get some light on this thing. Hold on. Okay. Like I said, it looks just like an O2 sensor. You can see the nut in there just behind the shield. Let me try to get my finger in here so you can definitely see. Right here. Right there at the tip of my finger. And I'll get you a size on that in a minute. And if you go into the truck passenger side, right by the differential valve, kind of right behind it. Let me remove this light. Okay, there you go. Clear view. Okay, now knox sensor 1 is right there. That big old little brain. 10 mil there, 10 mil on top. It simply unplugs. This side stays in. This goes to the sensor that I was just showing you. This side goes to the chassis of the truck. Simply unplug that. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this all loose. Kind of hard to hold the camera at the same time, but we are under the truck, just to the right side of the drive line, passenger side. Bear with me, and we'll get this thing swapped out. We got a really weird reading coming out of this one, and a DTC code, whatever you want to call it. All right, now that we got this out of the way, which simply bolted right to that, pops off, clip and clip off this wire. Okay, now you got a clear shot. That is a 22 millimeter, and the nut on this moves, so the wire doesn't have to spin with it. We're gonna crack that loose, get that out, and then pop 2 10 millimeter bolts off the little brain on the thing. And we'll keep going. All right, we got our couple mounting screws for this thing off now. It's now unmounted to that plate right there and right there. Nut on the back side, all 10 millimeter. You got a couple clips there and there, and you can most of the time simply pinch those and they'll pop right out. If not, they unfold the tab and they pop right loose. Bear with me, we'll get the new one in place. All right, this one was kind of stuck, so I pulled the whole sensor. Most of the time that nut will spin right off, but this one was stuck real bad. I couldn't get it to break free. Bear with me. But the wire does twist now, so that can unspin as we take it out. Baby shot anyway. Okay. There's where it be, just like an O2 sensor. Been on there for some miles. We're gonna go ahead and swap it out now. We got our new one right there. I would say put some anti-seize on the threads of this. Being an exhaust piece, it'll come apart easier next time you gotta do it. All right, let's now go ahead and thread our new one in. I put some anti-seize on it. And normally you spin. Pretty simple. Just make sure your threads are straight. Goes right in. And also 7/8 American, if you don't have a 22, will work. One of them's just a hair sloppy, but yeah, just snug it up decent. It ain't got to be super reefed. Good and tight. but not super cranked in with an impact or anything, and you're good. And we're gonna pop our bracket back on now. Pretty simple, straightforward. This goes through there. Those two 12mm bolts. And we'll get these started, and then I'll hit them with a light impact. And my little Milwaukee 12 volt, it don't drive very tight. It's very good for little things like this. Bear with me. And we'll get it all popped back together. After I get this on, we're gonna run that wire through there, and then kind of up. This thing's distinctly routed so it doesn't hit anything and doesn't wiggle and vibrate and all that good stuff. Now I ran through the clips. I popped these original clips off the line. There's 3 of them. We'll start from the bottom up. First hole's like right there. Alright, bear with me in a kind of a tight spot. But if you follow that wire, right here's where we're at. One bolts on the bottom, or pops through that little slide hole on the bottom. And then there's another little slide hole right here. And we're going to connect our wires there. So let's go ahead and mount our little brain to this fancy glorified O2 sensor. 2 10mm nut and bolt. We'll pop them on now. And then this plug over here connects right here, obviously. I do suggest a little dielectric grease being outside to the elements. It don't hurt. All right, we got our Knox back in. 10 mil, that's connected permanently. That one from the chassis. And we got our clips in. Make sure these things are solid, not vibrating around. Save you some headache later. All right, there you go. Everything's back together. And thanks for watching.